tonight, Dave. WU7N.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, 87CYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. I'll take a momentary pause in case somebody needs to make a contact before we get underway with our net or has emergency traffic they need to transmit. So I'll take a break now. Hearing none, I'll take check-ins. I got WU7N checked in via video. Is there anybody else who would like to join us this evening?
87QKU and M7KC.
And we have Ron and Lee. Well, hearing none, well, it's a short group. We'll see what we can do with the net this evening. Let's go up to James, WU7N.
Well, thank you, Dave. Your transmitter's still on.
Okay.
You all remember this scene from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where he has to replace the golden idol with a bag of sand, or not? I did something very similar to that today, or so I thought I was going to have to. I spent about 4 hours assisting a personal rep in cleaning out a gentleman's house who had passed away on our street, and oh my goodness, the attic was so incredibly packed. The entire house is incredibly packed. Underneath the house is incredibly packed. 4 hours later, I don't even think we made a dent in it. But the most interesting find of the day is I found a little plastic container box, and it had 2 D-cell batteries in it, and a big red button in the center, and a mysterious little metal object on the other side, and a big pressure plate, distinctly looking like this is something you would step on to make something happen. So looked at it for a while, and we decided maybe what the little tiny metal thing was for was to make noise, and if the 2 D-cell batteries had worked, we were not quite sure where you would use this thing, but I suppose if you step on it, it's supposed to make some kind of noise. Didn't test it to see if the switch is clicks on, clicks off, or it was a single point, single throw switch. We just threw it away in the trash. But for a while there, we were wondering if we were going to have to get a bag of sand and switch something out. Well, anyway, that's my adventure for today. What's yours? This is James, WU7N, and back to Ned.
WU7N, thanks for that, James. Before we move on to Ron, let's see if there's anybody else who would like to check into the net this evening.
Connected N7KC.
Well, KD7QKU here. Well, I guess we had a pretty nice meeting today. I came home and went out and looked at the boat cover again, but I didn't do anything else. The sun came out, got really nice. Then I started watching football games and baseball games, and then here we are. The Huskies did win, as you may or may not know, and the Cougars, right now they might be behind at halftime. So, it's been one of those days. It's been a nice day. We had a pot of popcorn, and Joanne and we sat there and watched one of the games. And then she went off to the store, came home with pizza. We haven't had pizza in a long, long time. So anyway, that's about it over here at our house. So we'll go over to Lee, I guess. So, N7KC, go ahead.
Okay, this is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Well, it was a beautiful, beautiful day here. And after the net this morning, for the meeting actually, for me it was kind of the net, Paul and I decided this is a Crab Festival weekend. It started yesterday afternoon and it goes through today and tomorrow. So we thought we would go down and just walk around and see what was going on down there. And I'll tell you, the crowd was just huge. It was just huge. And parking, of course, was a premium, so we had to walk from Vine and First Avenue down to the function, and that was as close as we could get to park. And the lines to get in to eat crab were a block long, and they had purchased a bunch of new cookers. They said last year the lines were horribly long, so they bought a bunch of new cooking equipment. They have 15 cookers doing crab, and the line today, the places were filled up, and the lines are a block long to everything, and even the food vendors down on the pier and whatnot. Great big long lines to get in those. So we just walked around. the American Constellation, which is one of the American cruise ship lines. It's about I think about a 300-foot cruise ship comes in here periodically. The American Spirit and the American Constellation kind of take turns coming in. So they came in today, I think, special for the Crab Festival from, I heard, Friday Harbor. Anyway, there was a lot of people down there. Beautiful weather, just no wind, just flat water and so forth. It was just really pretty, and everybody was having a good time. So when it was all said and done, we went to taco time and got a taco salad and came home. Anyway, that's it from Port Angeles. This is N7KC Lee. Back to net.
Thanks for that, Lee. This is Dave, 87ZYM. Well, after our business meeting today, went home, tuned in a couple of football games, watched those, read the news, see that we have a new Supreme Court justice. So things are moving along politically, you might say. So we'll see how that works out. And went down the basement and found only 2 items to dispose of. Darn it, I was looking for more, but it just didn't happen. So that's about what's happening with my life. So I'll move it back up to James, WW7ATS.
Well, many of you know I enjoy the medium for a lot of different reasons, and one website I really enjoy looking at is The Onion. And the reason I like The Onion is it's a satire and humor site, and they make fun of everybody. If you haven't ever checked it out, there's something there to make you laugh and offend everybody, which is a good satire site. So this headline reads, with the senators wondering if now is a good time to disclose 7 highly credible murder allegations against the Supreme Court judge. And what's funny, though, is, I mean, there's a silly little article here. Of course, once you get through this one, just in case you're on the other side of the fence, it has some other goofy video making fun of the other side, and I can't even find it now. But it's humorous, and you should check it out sometime. So anyway, here's a picture, and as usual, my lighting is not quite up to par here. A little side lighting tonight. But the images coming through on the web are very good tonight, without a whole lot of delay, although right now I just see the Onion site coming up on the streaming. So I don't know what that is, about 7-10 seconds, something like that. Well, anyway, one good thing about the exercise today I had cleaning things out is it's definitely inspired me to clean out my own house, and even if you don't get rid of it, at least organize it and label it so somebody else knows what it is. And as to the crab adventure, one thing I was wondering about, though, if they had all those crab cooker going, how did you end up with a salad at taco time? Anyway, that's it for me, James, WU7N, and let me go ahead and turn it back to Ned.
Thanks for that, James. Let's go on down to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU here. Well, yeah, I've been up to the Crab Festival a couple of times. It's really nice. There's lots of people, stuff to see, stuff to buy. I think the last time we were there, I avoided the line for the crab and went inside the tent where they have restaurants that set up and provide food. And I can't remember what I had there. I'm thinking maybe I had crab cakes, but it might not be right. I don't remember. So anyway, the first time we went there, we had that cracked crab. And you get, and they have live music inside and everything. So it was good. We sat and listened to the music a couple of years ago and had a good time with Lee and Paul. And I think Dave was there, and I think Bill was there too. Joanne, of course. So anyway, Dave, Bob, and Dave were talking about electric cars. It kind of sounds like Bob might be going to get an electric car. That was kind of interesting. I did kind of break away and came home and kind of wanted to get my WYE with the Taco Bell.
Okay, and 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Well, James, good evening to you, and Dave as well. And I've said howdy to Ron. Well, the crab dinner there, aside from apparently a good long wait to get in and get it, is about, well, if you buy the tickets through the community center here for the senior center, they're $25 for a crab dinner. So that's $50. Waiting in line for a long time and that sort of thing. And then we found last year and the year before, it was really hard to find a place to sit down inside. You know, there's just so many people. So when it was all said and done, what we did was we went down actually to Taco Time, and we can get a taco salad, and we split it. And it's still more salad than I really need. So we just buy one and split it. And so we got by with $11 today instead of at least 50 or maybe 60. But there's a lot of stuff to see, like Ron says. There were more vendors there this time than I remember ever. And they were just every place, and they had some very interesting carvings and things like that that I was looking at. And they also had a farmer's market that was going today. It's normally down there at the same site where they do the crab festival, which incidentally is big tents. They have huge tents, circus tents, that they set up in the on Lincoln Street that goes down to the pier and so forth. So that whole area is tented in case it does rain. And the last couple of years it has rained, but this year it was just beautiful, beautiful weather, and people just came out by the droves. I forgot to hit my timer, so I'm running on, so to speak, borrowed time here. So I think I'll just stay in 7KC in Port Angeles, Lee here, and back to net.
Well, thanks for that, Lee. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 repeater. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else who would like to join us? Hearing none, well, I was in a seafood mood this afternoon and ended up for lunch having some clam chowder, so that was pretty good. Get these chilly days. A couple of days ago, looked in the cupboard, there was some chili, and mixed that with some rice, and added some cheese to it, and that was pretty filling. So getting into the chilly weather food and mood going on right now. So that's about it, and I'll move on. Go back to James, WU7N.
Well, this is something that, by the way, thank you for the explanation of why you ended up with a taco salad with all those crabs. I'm sure the crabs appreciated your choice of taco salad. But it's good news that the festival was so crowded. I'm wondering, a thought occurs to me, since you said there was a cruise ship in the area, I wonder if a lot of your crowd was due to cruise ship crowds. When I went on a cruise a few years ago up to Alaska, and the cruises ships dumped off all the people, suddenly the towns were just flooded with wall-to-wall people. It was just insane. And then when everybody got back on the ship, it was a ghost town. So anyway, just a thought there, but glad you had a good time. It sounds like everybody made good use of the Saturday. I'm sorry I had to leave early from the meeting. Perhaps I can catch up later in the week on what happened after I left. I had to leave about 40 minutes after the hour, so I don't know how much longer you guys went. Anyway, I found this was kind of interesting. Federal Communications Commission site, and it's just some interesting sort of for the public type articles. And it's kind of interesting, I think, to kind of read through some stuff like this that the government puts out, particularly for the layman. This one is on, it's partially cut off the way it gets translated into the NTSC signal. But it says interference with radio, TV, and telephone signals. And I think it's interesting because, this is what the lay public kind of reads. Notice that it's in Spanish, Mandarin Chinese, Filipino Tagalog, Vietnamese, and it looks like that's Korean. So I found it was kind of interesting to read these articles and sort of see what the general communication or message is from the FCC to the lay person, and perhaps that would help at some later time in some problem I might be troubleshooting here on my street. So anyway, the other interesting project that I hope we haven't dropped is just kind of a personal challenge. I want to see if we can get the telephone where that repeater equipment is working to actually work without the radio station blasting in on the top of it. I think that's a technical challenge worthy of us. Hope you guys accept the challenge. Anyway, this is James, WW7ATS, and let me turn it back to Ned.
Okay, James, let's go to Ron, KD7, QKU.
KD7QKU here. Mine comes around faster. I'm just kind of curious, James. Where was that? Who was it? Or was it a relative or just someone you helped? That house? I think you said the person had passed away and you guys were cleaning out. Is that correct?
Gentleman at the end of the street, good neighbor. He had served in the military, flown for United Airlines, retired sometime in the 50s, and passed away. And I love this street. Everybody watches for everybody. I believe it was Tuesday that a neighbor who's also a physician.
Okay, your transmission was a little broken up. But apparently it was a neighbor down the end of the street, and it sounded like everybody kind of watches out for everybody. That's good. So anyway, that was nice that you helped out. I'm sure they were glad to get some help. Big job. I've done that a couple of times. Just about have to bring a dumpster in and fill it up. What you can sell at the garage sale and what you can take to Goodwill. I mean, it gets overwhelming sometimes. Well, I'm just running out of stuff to say. It's 48 degrees, 48.2 degrees here, cooling off kind of rapidly. I did get the ladder out today, and I looked at my rain gauge. I thought maybe when we blew the roof off the other day, we blew some degree in my rain gauge, because I didn't think it's too accurate. It just seemed like it recorded very fast or something the other day on the train. Although we did end up with 8,707 in, so we did have more rain than I expected. So the rain gauge was nice and clean inside the little square screen that protects the little mechanism. And so then I changed the battery here in the transmitter or receiver, whatever you want to call it. I had a sending unit outside that goes to the same it's an Oregon instrument, and it had the rain gauge and a temperature sending gauge. For the last year, it's just been nothing but trouble. I just can't keep it running, and I don't think it's accurate anymore. So I had purchased a different one. So when I did all that today, I decided I'd take the Oregon one apart. So I couldn't just get 2 screws out of it. So anyway, I taken a screwdriver and tried it. Oh, it broke, and I could look inside. And I couldn't see any way that I could do anything with the sensor that that reads the temperature. So I threw it in the garbage. So I just don't have to rely on my other one. All right, that's it here. So let's go over to Mr. Lee.
Okay, well, N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Well, this time I did start my timer, so I'm not falling behind. Okay, well, James, in regards to packed attic, when we were living in Seattle, I had a packed attic, And I always said that whoever got to mine that attic after I was gone was going to have a really good time. Well, you know, we left before I croaked, and I had to mine it. And it was a big, big job, and I'm the one that put it there. Stuff gets lost in an attic for years. I found things that we were in that house for 50 years, and I found things up there that had probably been up there 40 years, and I never even realized were there. Oh, golly. See, what else was I going to say? I don't have, frankly, much to say either. I was going to say that on James, the Echo Link got a little testy there on you, but then Ron said your signal wasn't too good into the repeater, so maybe that accounts for it. After our meeting today, I worked with Gary for several minutes, and we got his audio straightened out on his Skype. So we got it fixed up so it sounds, well, he got it fixed up. I just told him what I was hearing, and he adjusted his mic gains and whatnot until it's entirely acceptable. Very good now. See what else is going on. Oh, dear. I don't know. Tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen here tomorrow. We're just going to have to wait and see what the weather brings, I think. You know, our north yard and our south yard, I put Scott's weed and feed on it, and boy, are they looking good. But I had a couple of spots where I'd taken some weeds out, so it was a little bit, wasn't heavy green grass there. And you know, the raccoons have been grubbing in it. They're not hurting the yard, they're just pulling up, it's like it's being thatched. You know, they're just using their claws and pulling up that straw-like stuff that's down underneath it, and just kind of leaving the little piles on the lawn. And the other day, after I got my new lawnmower, I vacuumed all that up with the lawnmower, and now they've worked at it again. So, but nonetheless, the yard really looks good, and we're real pleased. Oh, there's my timer, so I better quit. This is 10-7KC. I'm Lee in Port Angeles. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Lee. This is Dave, 87ZYN. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Well, it's nice to meet James, Ron, and Lee, at least on the net this evening. I seem to have lost my 1.2 gig. I did go out and checked on my antenna. It appears to be pointing in the right direction. But maybe I need to move it a little bit to the left or the right and see what happens. Every once in a while, a picture will show up on the tube so I can see what's on 1.2. But the streaming video seems to be working very well this evening. You hit the live button under the picture, it seems to correct itself and come up almost in sync. So anyway, I've run out of words and verbiage myself, so let's go up to James, WW7N, and we'll see how it continues on here.
Well, apologies to you, Ron. I think I reset the repeater and I talked over the top of the first part of what you said. But what I was saying is what you echoed. Yeah, people on the street here do a pretty good job of keeping an eye out for each other. And the physician next door to George, the gentleman who passed away, noticed that he had not come and gone. So they got together with some neighbors. I mean, we're almost all duplexes here. We have one house that's not a duplex in our planned unit development. And they went over to check on him, and were able to assist the family. So anyway, yeah, that's how I kind of got involved in it. But my goodness, I am so ready to get to bed tonight. I am just absolutely exhausted. I think that was the ultimate justice for you, Lee. If you had to mine your own attic out and it was packed solid, but hopefully it was a fun project. I'm really seriously going to go through this house, and if I'm going to keep it, it's got to be boxed and it's got to be clearly labeled. Well, anyway, I thought you guys might enjoy this site. This is windy.com, and you can see I have Port Angeles up right now, 50 degrees. But it's kind of cool in that you can zoom in and get these little sort of white things that are swimming around on the screen. Let me zoom in a little more. nice. It's got all these little dots. You can see right now we don't have a lot of wind, but the little dots and the temperatures kind of tell you what's going on in our area with the temperatures from various weather stations. And there's beautiful Maltby up there. I wonder where he is tonight. And as you can see, there's other places here, and it just gives you a good look at the temperature. It's about the same as at your house, Ron, here. And I have a weather station that I was trying to get up before the rain started. I'm not sure it's going to make it this season because I really don't want to go out on my roof when it's wet. So anyway, that's it for me, James WW7N. Back to Ned.
Well, thanks for that, James. Maybe we should start trying to wrap it up. Let's go to Ron, 87 QKU.
Okay, KD7ZYM in the group. This is KD7 QKU. This is Ron again. Well, all right, that's fine with me. I'm watching the Cougars play right now. They're behind. The Oregon Beavers are ahead of them. Oregon State. I don't know. We'll have to see. And UCLA, the Huskies played UCLA, and UCLA played really hard. They need to hold Huskies scrambled. Huskies, of course, did win. So anyway, all right, I'm going to say 73, I guess, and we'll pass it over to Mr. Lee.
Okay, very good. Here we go. N7KC Lane, Port Angeles. Well, let's see. Yes, I was trying to answer up, James, on something. That should have written it down. Huh. What was it? What was he talking about there? Oh, well. Yeah, okay, well, I guess it's 73 time. That's okay with me. My wife, Paula, is holding. She's got a movie on hold upstairs. So as soon as that was over, I said I'd go up and continue with her on that. Anyway, we've got a digital recorder, you know, and that's the only way we watch anything, because you can, with a mere punch of the button, you can slip right by those commercials, and we never have to watch that 10 minutes per half hour or 20 minutes per hour of commercial. And after you're used to doing that, if you have to sit through something live and you don't have the ability to go through the commercial, it's pitiful. It's just really terrible. Okay. Oh, I know what it was. James, I use Windy, have for several years. I've got it on the phone, too. It's a nice app. My only complaint about Windy is that it's a long time between updates. What is it, 6 hours, I think. But the nice thing about it is that you can project ahead to see what the wind might do tomorrow or the next day, and so forth. And you not only can you get the wind, but you can also get lots of other information just by selecting barometric pressure, if you please, and temperature and wind and all that. So it's a very interesting thing, and it's really easy to spot the low pressure areas, the counterclockwise rotating areas out in the Pacific when the storms are coming in, and kind of see where they're going to go. Anyway, with that, I'll say 7 threes. Fun that always for me here. I enjoy these. And this is in 7KC in Port Angeles, back to Ned. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, thank you, Lee, Ron, and James for joining the net this evening. Dave, 87 CYM. Well, there was one other thing I was looking at. Possibility of looking at a new cell phone, and I was saying, oh my gosh, when I was looking at the prices of the new cell phones that are available, it seems like anything decent, even on the used market, is around $200, and then you can clear up to $1,000 on a very smart phone. I think for that I'd like to have a robot, but anyway, the phone that I have now seems to be functioning okay, so I'll wait till it peters out and look again and surprise myself and probably settle on something. So with that, I'm going to say, is there anything from anyone before we wrap it up? us, we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine, the Tank Repeater Group, for allowing us to use the 08 machine on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock for the voice portion of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. So with that, I'll be signing off on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net in 2032. This is Dave, 87GYN. Good evening all.
N7KC disconnected. Connected WU7N. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Echo Wing test. WU7N. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. WU7N. End of test. WU7N disconnected.